Hello, welcome to the Kitchen Spy. My name is Kate and here's another recipe video, and this is for corned beef and potato pie. So I hope this video finds you safe and well, and basically the kind of story behind this is that there's a programme on the television at the moment called Mortimer and Whitehouse Gone Fishing, and it's Bob Mortimer and Paul Whitehouse, and Paul Whitehouse is a competent fisherman and Bob Mortimer isn't, but they're good friends, and I've got no interest in fishing whatsoever really, but they sit around and fish, and when they're doing it they just talk to each other about just the most banal things, but it's a really lovely, gentle, heartwarming programme. And during it, Bob Mortimer usually cooks something for Paul. So Paul's the expert fisherman and Bob's a cook. And one week he made a corned beef and potato pie, and it looked so good that I thought I'd have a go. So I've just kind of made this up myself, and it worked out really well, and I'll show you how I did it. So the recipe I'm using for the pastry is one I used for the Cornish pasties, and that's actually from the gluten-free blogger. So I've got 110 grams each of lard and unsalted butter. I've got here 2 teaspoons of xanthan gum, and that's because I'm using gluten-free flour. I've got 2 medium eggs, which I've just broken into this bowl and I'll just mix through later on. And then I've got 340 grams of plain gluten-free flour, and I use the Dove's version and I don't ever have any issues with it, so I'm just going to carry on using that. So those are the ingredients that we need for the pastry. So you can actually buy ready-made gluten-free pastry sometimes, but I just wanted to make my own, and obviously you don't have to use gluten-free pastry, up to you. So here all I've done is I've just rubbed the fats, the butter and the lard, into the flour and the xanthan gum and a pinch of salt as well. And then what you do is you put your eggs in, and then you just mash it all up until it gets to the point where you can actually kind of start handling the pastry. And just like normal pastry, handle it as little as you possibly can and keep everything as cool as you possibly can. And then when that's ready, just bring it all together in a dough ball like you would any normal kind of pastry. And then, as you can see, my fingers are stuck, got sticky with the pastry. Then just wrap it in cling film, and then we're just going to pop that in the fridge while we get on with the rest of the filling, but for at least 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, absolute minimum. So I did quite a lot of investigation into what kind of filling I should have on the internet, but I chose to go with this. There was a question mark over mash or no mash. So what I've done here is I've got about 2 large carrots, and I've chopped those, and then a couple of large potatoes. I've chopped those into the same sizes. An onion, I've chopped that quite finely, and then here I have got a tin of corned beef, 340 grams, chopped into chunks, and then some Lee & Perrins Worcester sauce, any Worcestershire sauce, or you can miss it out. And then I'm going to use salt and pepper. But for this recipe, like quite a few more recently, I'm starting to use white pepper in recipes, and I just think it gives just a little bit different kind of flavour. It's more piquant than the black pepper, but it really suits this recipe. Then I've got just a small amount of oil, maybe a teaspoon of oil in a pan, and I'm figuring, this is going to be quite a high calorie recipe. There's no point trying to save calories by using spray oil. So I'm just popping the onion into the pan, and I'm just going to fry that off until it's cooked. And I'm not going to fry the other vegetables. What I'm going to do with them is steam them. So I've just got them in a steamer here, and I'm just going to steam them till they're just tender. Obviously, once they are in the pie itself and the pie is in the oven, they'll carry on cooking. So you want them really just underdone, if that makes any sense at all. So yeah, what we need to do next is obviously line the pie dish. I haven't got a pie dish, so I'm actually using a cake tin. I really need to get some pie dishes, but I just don't make pies generally, so I just haven't got them. So anyway, I'm using a springform loose bottomed cake tin, which I figure is going to be useful when we're trying to get the pie out. And then I'm just going to roll out the pastry. So for gluten-free pastry, it is hard to work with, but it's not impossible to work with. And because you've got the xanthan gum, that actually makes it work better. So I've greased the pie dish / cake tin, and I'm just going to roll out the pastry on some greaseproof paper because that makes it easier. And I forgot to bring the thing that I normally roll pastry out on because this is at the caravan. So then I lined the tin, and as you can see, I have gone over the edge with the pastry, and then I'm just going to trim that off. And here's all of the filling ingredients. So the potato and the carrots are cooked, and you can still see they're holding their shape. A lot of people mash potatoes, but I just wanted to try it this way. And I've mixed in the fried onions with the corned beef as well, and the Worcestershire sauce. So once I've mixed all that together, then I'm just going to pile that all into the pastry, and it was as if this was meant to be. It perfectly fitted this cake tin, and this is, I think it's an 8-inch cake tin. So I just piled all of the filling into the pastry, and I've still left the overhang there because what I'm going to do is pop some egg onto that overhang and then put the pastry lid on. So here it is with the pastry lid on, and you can see I've had to do a bit of patchy repair work, but it doesn't matter. And as an homage to the show, I've done Bob's hat at the top there. Paul always wears like a baseball cap, and I've done a fish underneath as well. Because it just came from that show. So anyway, I like to decorate pies when I do them, so that's what I did with this one. And then I popped it into an oven, which is a gas mark 6, 400F, 200C or 180C fan oven, and for about 40 minutes. But just keep checking. And with pastry, you can kind of smell when it's ready, if that makes any sense. And the pie moves away from the side of the dish. And because obviously this was a springform can, I was able to open it, and the pie stood up on its own. That was a really glorious moment. When you cook with gluten-free pastry, it can be a little trepidatious, but it worked, and I was really pleased with it. It's still on the metal base of the tin. I didn't dare take it off before I'd cut into it. But this is what the inside of the pie looked like, and as you can see, it's quite a dry mixture because I didn't put any gravy in. You could have put some gravy in, but I don't think it really needs it. And to make the pie easier to cut and to deal with, this was a good one. But I will try mashing. I'll try a version where I mash the potatoes, see what that looks like. And I served it here with some gravy, just some Bisto Best gravy, so instant gravy, some asparagus and broccoli. And the entire pie came to 3,547 calories. Oh gosh. But 6 portions. So each portion is only 591 calories. So altogether, that was 704 calories with the gravy and the vegetables. And I don't think that's too bad because that felt like a real treat. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up. I'll make sure to leave the ingredients down below, so if you do make it, please let me know what you think, or if you've got a better version or a different version of a corned beef and potato pie, I'd be really happy to see that. So thanks very much for watching, and if you're already a subscriber, that's really great. Thank you. I really appreciate your support, and if you're not yet and you feel like you might want to, a subscribe button is coming up soon. I'll also link down below the playlists for my recipes and also for my food hauls and meals of the week. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. You take care. Stay safe. Bye bye.